money has to be spent, right? So I looked at him, I go, that's what you get for reaching over to my space, taking my stuff.
Right.
That's God's punishing you. I mean, not if you believe in God
that's
or
karma.
whatever, the universe, whatever. That's what you get.
Karma.
Restaurant Punk, what's up?
Restaurant Punk. I was alone on that one.
Yes. Loner.
Wow. Tough crowd today. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Do I have anybody in the room with me right now?
Well, I thought you were going to sing like an NSYNC song or some shit. So I was waiting to see what you got.
Well, they're coming back. They're coming back.
Are
A
they?
reunion. I think they just recorded. Anyway.
Not important.
Before I fangirl, I did pick a topic, and I just because I genuinely need more elaboration on it, because I've heard it so much recently, and like during service, I'm looking at my hands, right, and I'm like, am I doing this wrong?
Ugh.
Thumbs on plates.
Okay.
Yanni's like, I can't stand when people have thumbs on the plate. And I'm like, okay, but how? Now, how do I do it without using my thumb? Like,
So,
you go like this.
The main,
like you have, like, does he mean like
No,
wrapping
so,
it?
the main
Elaborate.
concept, right, is
Can we get a
like
plate?
if you're gonna you can't stick your thumb in the rim of the plate.
Right.
Like if there's a thumbprint or like a side thumbprint in that plate, like your guest is gonna see that and it's gonna be like, it's not cool.
Yeah.
Right? Like, do you want to get buy like a $50 plate and there's like a thumbprint in it? So like the concept is like you grab the plate in a certain way. You can use your thumb, but it rests more on like the
side, or like,
Yeah, it's like
if you're like using your thumb as like support to like hold it up, but not like pressing it down.
Yeah, you're not
I hold it like, I
pressing-
don't know if it's right. I hold like this. So my thumb's hanging off the edge.
Like, 'cause my thumb is present, but it's never in the other person's plate.
You
It's
don't
kind of like a way of
dip it.
like rub the
finger dip.
rub the rim of the plate. No, just kind of like trying to grab the plate in a way so that this way, I can't do it now because I don't have an actual plate. But it's kind of distributing the weight in a certain way to be.
Am I
able
allowed to get up real
accommodate
quick?
that. Yeah.
I think
I'm
Jenny's
asking-
getting a plate. If that's
Well,
what you're asking.
because I just see something that I can use real quick.
Oh, like the paddle? Why don't you
Yeah.
use the edge of the table?
It's not
Okay,
that-
now.
Because I can hold it up and show the people. But either way, like I think about it because a lot of our plates are heavy, right?
Yeah.
And like obviously we have a whole shit ton of pasta. There we go. Thank you. So like when I'm carrying the plate, I try not to have my hand like this,
Yeah.
right? Right. For the people. I try to genuinely keep it like rested.
Right.
And a lot of our plates obviously are like more so bowls
Right.
because
So
pasta.
they have that lip.
To where they have like a lip, to where like, am I allowed to put my thumb on the lip when it's like a really heavy bowl of pasta, or am I supposed to just literally be trying to like?
Because if you do
Am I
it like
handicapped?
that, you can't bring two plates
Well,
out.
like the main thing is like, because this plate isn't going to work right because there's no lip to it. But it's like, you see how my thumb is not actually in the plate?
Yeah,
right.
But it would be resting on
The edge.
like the lip.
Okay, so that's
plate.
like that's genuinely what I do very often, right? Like
Yeah.
I keep my thumb like kind of like right here to where I'm like it's still resting against my thumb. I know it's not going to fall off. I'm not just like a dog with no thumb, and I'm just trying to.
But
my
some
dog
plates
came to
too-
my mind.
This is such a weird episode because like some plates, if it is
But-
like got that bowl shape to it, like then you can kind of like really cup it, and you can still take two plates over, and then like your thumb
Yes.
is using like the pressure of the underside of the bowl to
And but like whenever he said don't use your thumbs, I took it so literal. So I'm like,
so you're like trying to
I'm like
levitate
trying
plates.
to literally like hold it and act like I am thumbless. So I was just like, okay, because I get it. Obviously, you don't want someone's thumb in your
Yeah.
food,
Right.
But like when I was carrying it like this, I was like, does this classify as having my thumb on the
So,
plate?
Another thing that'll happen too is sometimes in the kitchen, I usually carry like a blue rag in my back pocket or just like any kind of like microfiber rag, because some plates, as I'm getting them ready and I'm getting them ready to go out, and I'm trying to be conscious of not sticking my fingers in the plates, especially like I have like 5 different things going on.
Yeah.
I know my hands are dirty. They've got like grease and oil. I will sometimes like, I'll make sure I have the microfiber and I touch up to like if I've like accidentally like touched the inside of a plate, or like
Got
if I've
it.
made like, you know, like stains or smears with my greasy hands. Like I always try to like like, you
My
know what I, you know
greasy
what I mean?
fingers.
Like I'll go in there and I'll like try to hit it and like watch it, because even in the kitchen, that's a problem too.
Yeah.
You know, especially at one of the places where I am, there's multiple plates going out at one time, and you're trying to put together all these kinds of plates and then get them in the window so your server can come and pick them up. But you're trying, and then you're rotating plates around because you want them to be presented to a table a certain way because you know that the server's going to grab them.
Exactly. So that was another factor of like, if I'm like, obviously like the way that let's say the beef tenderloin is plated,
Right.
you know, it's supposed to be facing them like a certain way whenever I bring it to the table. And sometimes when I'm in a rush and I'm just, there's hot food in the window and I grab it, it takes me getting to the table to kind of rotate it. And if I can't use a thumb at all,
Right.
that's a struggle.
No, you're using your thumb, but it's more of like an accessory piece.
Thank
It's
you.
not-
And again, I'm like, this might make me sound so dumb, but I've been hearing so much recently. Like if I see one more thumb on a plate and I'm like, okay, it's just resting on the side. Does this qualify as a thumb on the plate?
Because I've seen like servers do it and things too, where they're actually like they're holding like the inside the lip, or their finger is clasping,
Right.
you know, as opposed to using it as a balancing or a stabilizing feature.
It never crossed my mind about this whole thumb situation until I heard Yanni say it. Never in my life.
Right?
He's not wrong, right?
Yeah.
Because also your hands might not be clean.
Right.
But like he had pointed out to me just being at the bar, like when the bartender hands a drink, some bartenders will hand it by the
By
thumb.
the rim.
That was going to be my
Yeah.
next
Drives
my
him
next
nuts.
part is like sometimes, you know, even down to grabbing someone's water, like if they're at the other side of the table,
Yeah.
like I have to really try to maneuver myself, and like that gets me. Like I see some servers, and even when I'm out and eating, they grab my drink from the top where my mouth is, and like, but I also find it a struggle sometimes to get the base of the water glass. You know, I always try to get at least midway through, but sometimes it's really hard depending on the
What's
seating
going-
situation.
and what's going on the table too. Sometimes you'll have like a tray of glasses, and then you're trying to maneuver glasses around people's arms and shit that's already on the
Yeah.
table.
Let's talk about let's talk about customers or guests who aren't team players and don't help a sister out. Like, you know,
Oh,
you
I
see I'm
know.
trying to I'm
Yeah.
like contorting my
Me,
body
like,
to get something to you. and
pardon
Yeah.
my
can't
reach.
help.
Pardon,
Right,
pardon
right.
my reach. You know,
And I'm like, I'm a little bit on the short side, so can you help a sister
yeah.
out?
I can only
Yeah.
imagine how it is for you, because like I legit have like go gadget arms. They just keep going. But
Let me tell you a story about my short arms
Oh,
and my short stature.
tell us about
I
your-
told you. So years ago, I ordered coffee from Starbucks, and you know they drop it off the end, and they had the big round area.
counter,
Okay,
yeah.
well it was high, and then she puts so I'm the barista, and she puts like here, and I'm over there. And I'm like a little kid jumping and trying to grab my drink and grab my drink. I said, "Excuse me, I'm short.
I can't
Do you
reach
think you can
that.
push it, or I gotta get a chair? Like what the hell?"
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, I don't know how I got there. But
But I remember like one of the first times, even like bussing a table, I still try to maintain that same standard. Because like I remember one of the first times I ever served, actually, I think George had walked in and he saw me and I was clearing tables and I had water glasses
With your fingers like this.
pinched,
Yes.
even though like I was like clearing them, and he was like, "Yo, don't do that." And I was like, "Oh," like I didn't even realize, because in my mind I was just like clearing tables and trying to like grab as much as I can. So like you got those like, those
Right.
little pincer, and all your fingers are in the glass. It still doesn't look nice.
yeah, because you
You know,
don't know
even so-
as a guest, you're looking at, you're thinking,
Oh, yeah.
are they washing their hands before they bring out my shit?
Right.
I also wasn't very conscious of that until literally I became an owner and I saw someone else do it, and I was like, oh, I don't like that, because like I just watched you literally clear that table, and then you take the towel and you wipe off the table, and then hot food's ready, and you go and you grab the hot food. Like there wasn't a second in between. I was like, okay, hold on.
I kind of feel like
Use a tray or
yeah.
grab it like, you know, the little 3-leaf clover, you know, where you grab it like that. But even then, I'm the kind of person to where, you know,
I don't know what you're talking about. What?
get me 3 cups.
Try to, like, just try to
Just
grab
kidding.
like 3 cups.
Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Oh yeah,
It's like
The
okay.
3-leaf
Yeah, the
clover where you
maneuver.
like grab the 3 cups.
Well,
You
I
know?
understand that. I was trying to understand the 3-leaf clover. But I gotcha.
You,
A
you
little
know,
slow.
it looks like a clover.
Yes.
Looks like a clover. But I also worked in an establishment to where if you have more than 2 cups or glasses or whatever in your hand, you use a tray.
Yeah.
If the number of glasses that you're carrying exceed the number of hands that you have, which
Right.
statistically speaking is usually 2, you carry it on a tray. Like it just looks better. It's
I mean,
nicer.
you don't have a
but then I
palm
worked
three?
at a place that was just like, I don't care. Even if it's one beverage, you carry it on a tray. And I'm like, excessive. You know, this isn't like a Michelin star place. I don't
Right.
think we need to be doing all that.
I hate to bring up like COVID too, but I feel like having like gone through
Yes.
like COVID and that kind of experience, I feel like a lot of people have been like more conscious about like health and how like their own health is perceived and your practices and what they're seeing their server do, or even you as a server, how you're interacting with the things on another person's table has kind of changed, because like now there's like that burnt in kind of
instilled
that,
fear.
there's like this burnt in factor that we didn't necessarily have before.
Yeah, I agree. I think I see things totally differently.
Yeah.
One thing a long time ago I noticed, I was at a restaurant and they were bringing over utensils, fresh utensils or knife. Put it right on the tray. Like, I put a napkin down. I don't know if you guys saw. I'll put a napkin and I'll stack like if I'm changing out utensils. And I'll never forget, I'm like, that tray has never been cleaned, or the last time it got cleaned was like 2 months ago.
Right.
Right? I'm not saying it's a common thing, but people don't think about that. You're buzzing tables, putting dirty utensils and plates on these trays. You should be washing them or putting a barrier down.
So I have these little wooden plates, and they're like rectangular plates, and I have a folded napkin. My girls change it out every single day, and you put a folded napkin on there if anybody needs fresh silverware. Even if you're setting tables, I have them put the board on the tray with the silverware on top of it. Silverware does not touch the tray unless it's dirty silverware.
Right.
And so like they need a steak knife because the steak's about to come out. You put that on there and you hand deliver it.
Yeah.
I hate when I ask for a fork and someone just comes up and they're manhandling a fork and puts it down. You know what I mean? Like it's weird if 4 people at the table need forks and you just grab a handful of forks and you're like, boop, 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 boop.
Right.
It's nice when you have like a little tray and you're just, distributing them. But again, not the tray that they just watched you clear that table off with.
Right.
And then you just slap more silverware on top. It's so weird how I probably would have never noticed that 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Right.
But it's funny too, because it's like I've actually been like, people have like laughed at me for plating silverware, because it's like I will like you said, you go out, you have your thing, you have all the silverware laid out, because like you said, you don't want to be like, okay, man, here's your
fork.
So it's just like the perceived notion of how the guest is perceiving, getting their silverware. They are going to put it in their mouth.
I was even like so picky as like I saw my server walking with the measing plate, right? So like walking with it, and before she got to the table, she picked up the fork. And I'm like, the whole point is to be at the table and to put it down. You just carried it halfway. Does that make sense? Like she carried the tray and then halfway there, she picked up the fork and put it down. I'm like, well, what was the whole point of
I hear what you're saying.
the whole delivery?
I don't think that would have bothered me as a guest.
As an owner, like instilling these practices, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where it's like, well, there's no point in you even bringing the whole tray over there if you're going to just carry it anyway.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's weird. It's really weird. And again, down to the thumbs and like touching glasses and stuff, I don't think it was ever really anything that caught my eye or that I noticed, unless it was like, I saw someone with a Band-Aid on their finger and they went and grabbed my cup before, I'd be like, ooh.
I don't like that. That's something you don't think
I
about.
don't like that.
Right. I had a bartender I worked with who, not at the end, makes the drinks.
Oh, give it to him like that?
Fingers
like the claw?
Fingers in the glass and then handing the 3 glasses to the customer.
No.
That's fine. It's
And I'm like, granted, it was a nightclub, but still, like, I'm just saying standards are a lot lower, but still, you should not do that. He would do that all the time. I mean, that's like the worst thing, especially if you're a bartender, because you're handling money and realistically.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying.
That's true,
But-
especially, if you're handling like cash all throughout the night,
Yeah, if you have like 400 transactions, you're not washing your hands 400 times.
There
It's
are,
it's
and that's the
impossible.
thing is that like I am such a freak about washing my hands, and like even in like my fingers are quite literally falling off at this point because of how excessively like I wash my hands within the restaurant. But even then, it's not like you have a break between every beat to wash your hands, to put on hand sanitizer, and even then the hand sanitizer you're supposed to wash your hands and then sanitize. Serve Safe approved. But it gets difficult, and you touch so many things to where like you got to try to stay as hygienic as possible in the process. So bringing the forks and stuff, grabbing the cup from the bottom of the glass, not fingering your cups when you're picking them up, and
Like that.
Apparently not putting your thumbs on the plates because I needed to know if you could use your thumbs at all.
Yes,
Okay.
your thumb is just, again, just to reiterate, your thumb is just a stabilizer.
This is what I think you should do. When the day you know Yanni's gonna come, you have like rubber bands on hand, and as soon as you see Yanni walk through the door, tie them together, like the thumb and then have your staff walk around. Like that's your protocol.
No thumbs.
And then when Yanni's like, "What is that?" and they be like, "Well, Noelle said no thumbs."
No thumbs.
So
She said, you said
that's how
no
we're
thumbs.
working.
But yeah, just, I appreciate you guys helping me work that one out.
Yeah, I tried.
Okay, yeah, thanks. And now you know.
Now you know.
Don't put your thumb in a plate.
Don't put your thumb on a plate.
Don't grab glasses by
Yanni
the
will
lips.
see it. Yanni will judge you.
Yeah.
So will your guests, apparently.
You work at a bar. How about like putting lemons in drinks? Do you just grab it with your hand or do you use little tongs? You grab it with your hand. I know
No,
you do.
I have a pick.
Yeah.
We have like the fruit picks.
Yeah.
And I stab it and I fling it in the drink. Because what we used to do is we used to pick everything, leave the pick in, and then you have like fruit picks all over the bar.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just keep one in the lemons, one in the limes. You know what I'm saying? And then fling it in.
Right. Have you ever seen anybody do that though? Like I've been
course.
to like the bar like a bunch of times and the guy just like grabs the
100%.
lemon. He's like, all right, blots. You see it like go in your drink,
Oh,
go on the
no.
side.
It's
But
not. I mean,
You know
honestly,
what's
it's not
weird? If I
uncommon.
see someone else do
I've seen
it,
people.
I'm like, I hate that. But then like I'll grab the same lemon that I just watched them grab with their hand, and then I'll take it, squeeze it, and drop it in my drink. And I'm
Right.
like,
Well-
for whatever reason, I'm in control of the
Yeah, it's
germs,
your
so
hand.
I'm okay with it.
Right. I mean,
Probably shouldn't be.
I don't know. I've seen people use it many times.
Yeah.
Many times. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right, but whatever.
It ain't
It's-
right, but it
you
ain't
You know
wrong.
what's
the
even
context-
worse?
In the context of like that business anyway, you know, it's like that high volume, fast
Right.
pace.
Yeah.
You know, you're serving hundreds of people at your bar. Okay, it's bound to happen. It's not ideal, and the average person tries not to do that. But sometimes in those kinds of situations that are fast paced, you're
You
just
can't help it.
Yeah, but how
trying
about
to make it happen.
the guest who's reaching over your fruit caddy and act like it's a buffet and taking stuff like
wait, what?
Oh, when they go to get their own lime?
when the customer takes it upon themselves to reach into your fruit
Oh,
caddy
yeah, okay.
and start digging
Yeah.
in to get what they want. Like, first of all, this is not your space. And I don't know where your hands have been. Like your grimy hands. I'll tell you a story. Let me tell you a story. Real quick. This is our story. And this is why you just don't ground touching things that don't belong to you. Okay?
Right.
So I was bartending and one of my coworkers came up and I had, I call it finger juice. It's the sort quick
Yes,
counting
yes, yes,
stuff.
yes.
Okay.
Right.
And it was in like a little container. And I had it behind my register facing him. And he was on the other side of the bar.
Right.
And he says to me, he's like, "Is this lip balm?" And I said, "No, it's for like counting money." He's like, "Oh, I thought it was lip balm. I put it on my lips." He opened it up and rubbed it on his lips. So I used it to count money. So there's, money has to be
Yeah.
spent, right? So I looked at him. I go, "That's what you get for reaching over to my space, taking my stuff."
Right.
That's God's punishing you. I mean, not
That's it.
if you believe in God
That's
or whatever,
karma.
the universe, whatever. That's what you get
Karma.
on his lips.
That's atrocious. I
Yeah.
would gag right then and there.
Honestly-
I know better to reach into Liz's spaces.
That's what they all say. Go that road. You should know better. Don't be reaching in.
But my God, that would skeeve me to
Yeah.
a different dimension.
Yeah. No. Anyway, that's it.
Anyway,
All right.
stay in your space. Don't use your thumbs and wash your hands.
Yeah.
Restaurant
wash
Punk
your hands.
certified.
Yep.
Ow.
All
Out.
right.
Okay. Imagine like a little kid, and you're like trying to get yourself like brace yourself to go into the ocean, and you're like, you're getting there right mentally, and you dip your toe in. Yanni was like, probably the kid was like, one.
One belly flop, get hit by the
That's how
current.
you learn.
What you got? What do you want?